How you doing, everyone? Greetings and welcome back to part 4 of this vlog, creating Super Shooty Aliens, little space shooter game for the Dragon and the CoCo. So as far as we gotten last week was I had prettified my little spaceship and I had put some kind of flashy pixels on the back of it to make it look like it had some kind of futuristic space age engines driving it through space. The other thing we have is a little guy who'll come out of the ship on each side of the screen, and we have bullets spraying all over the place. Now I've kept the high rate of fire because I want to stress this thing as much as I can while I'm testing and writing the game to see about slowdown and kind of how fast we're running, more or less. You may notice that I've changed the colour of the starfield in the background. I went from red and blue to yellow and white because it's kind of more contrast with the black backgrounds. I thought it stood out better, so that was one little aesthetical change I made. But what I said I wanted to do was to add in aliens and make them dance around the screen. That was what I wanted to try and achieve this week. And let me just tell you, I have managed to do that. I'm looking forward to showing it to you. But I have kind of tweaked this code a bit so that I could just press a key and show you kind of different alien configurations. And it's not fantastic. We're kind of resetting the game each time and going to a different configuration, but it's not really resetting properly, and sometimes it crashes. So the real thing I've done so far is running fine without any crashes. This thing may crash. If it does, that's why. But let me show you. I have made a little alien sprite, and we're able to put him on screen and move him around whatever way we want. I've done a few different configurations to kind of see what we got going on, but here you can see I've got 2 on screen. I managed to get 3 on screen, and we're doing little diagonal movements and making them move around and whatnot. And I kind of kept going to see how many I could do, and well, the thing is working quite well. Now, I decided to see how many I could potentially get on screen. And this here is one of the final tests I did because I figured there would never be any more than 20 on screen at a time. So what we have here are 25 little aliens on screen. And there is a slight little bit of slowdown when these guys come on screen, but it's actually not a problem because I have everything kind of timed with clocks. So our player movement here is restricted by a little clock. And I found that if I increase the speed of that clock, this guy will move away much, much faster without any slowdown of anything else on screen. So what I need to do is I need to tweak this in such a way that I've got a little alien on-screen counter, and every time there are like 4 aliens on screen extra, it'll increase this little player movement clock, and that way there's no perceptible slowdown. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've managed to do. Now let me just tell you about this routine I've written to put the aliens on screen. I can have full control over it. I can put as many as I want on screen. I can start them wherever I want on screen. I can end them wherever I want on screen. When I end it, I can make them disappear off screen, or I can kind of reset them back to where they were originally. Also, I can change the speed that they move on screen, so they can go really slow, they can go this speed, or they can go fast, kind of whatever way I want. And the spawn rate can be changed so that there is a different gap between each alien that appears on screen. So I've kind of got full control over that. The other thing is I can have a number of different kind of alien routines run at once. So I can write it in such a way that we have aliens coming from top, left and right of the screen, down, crossing each other and going off the screen at the bottom. So we can have pretty much whatever we want go on with the aliens on screen. Another thing I said I would try once I had sorted this out. Now this took a lot of time to get this thing sorted out. There were many hours spent this week getting this thing working. But collision detection, I said I would try my hand at a little bit, and I really thought that was going to be quite difficult because I was going to be comparing the address of bullets from one bullet table to aliens on their alien tables and whatnot, and it would have taken up an awful lot of cycles, and it would have been difficult, and it would have probably wrecked my head completely. But I was left a comment that said to me the easiest way to do it would be to check every time you draw a bullet if the bullet's been drawn over an alien. And I said, you know, that's not a bad idea, but I made one little modification. Instead of checking when I'm drawing bullets, I check when I'm drawing aliens to see if they're being drawn over a bullet. And that way, when I shoot and an alien is hit, he can be kind of erased off screen immediately. So I've got collision detection going now as well. So we've got this kind of thing working, destroying aliens when they're being hit by bullets. Now, it's not perfect. And the reason it's not perfect is that I haven't got it optimized completely. So you'll notice here, if I keep shooting, every kind of fourth alien or fifth alien will actually get through type thing. And the reason for that is the way the bullets are kind of being laid down on screen, there's a gap every so often. And also when the alien that's been hit is cleared, it's also clearing the bullets, and it allows just enough gap that one alien can get through every so often. So what I'm going to be doing anyway is decreasing bullet rate, and I'm going to be, you know, kind of tweaking everything to get the game to work properly when it works properly. But I realized one thing while doing all this, and that was that you can see there's with my demo code here, there's all kinds of slowdowns, and the starfield in the background stops every so often. At least it hasn't crashed yet. But I noticed one little thing. You see, when we're playing this, the fact that this guy goes up the left and right side of the screen doesn't really make any sense. So I decided maybe that won't be used that way. For level 1, our ship will be locked in from the left to the right, and that's all it'll be able to do. Now, when we've destroyed enough aliens or whatever, we're going to have to go searching for parts of our super weapon to destroy the boss. And what will happen at that stage, or at stages during the game, is our ship will automatically go over to one side of the screen, our little character will come out here to the middle of his side, and our starfield will change direction. The ship will disappear off the bottom, and then we're kind of jetpacking our way through space. And aliens will come at us not from the top, but from the left hand side of the screen. We find the piece of whatever weapon we need to find, and our little character will go over to the other side of the screen, come back to his ship, and when he gets back into his ship, the starfield will once again change back direction to the way it should be going. Now again, you see the starfield is stuttering here at the back, it's stopping soon. It doesn't do that when I have the kind of code set up properly. It's this test code I've put in to change things. It doesn't like it. But yeah, that's as far as I've gotten so far. The next thing to do is to try and figure out how I can get these aliens to drop bullets down on us. Pretty much a kind of a random thing where it'll drop bullets down on us and sort up a bit of collision detection where we're kind of destroyed if we're hit by the bullets. And that'll be another major part. And at that stage, it's really kind of tweaking what I've got and kind of putting it on rails, you know, so that set things happen at set points. We've got alien kind of forces coming in and whatnot, but there still is quite a bit to do. I'm going to increase the size of this alien sprite so that we can put colors in and whatnot. I'm going to animate it so that it's kind of animated as it moves around as well. And I want to make little kind of dances that they can do on screen, you know, so different wave patterns that they can do, and write a little piece of code so that these things happen at different times. And yeah, that will maybe at that stage we'll be able to kind of fool around and see what kind of a game it'll be, because for the moment it's impossible to know will the game be any good or not. That's kind of it. But yeah, that's what needs to be done. There's all kinds of crashy things going on, but that's what needs to be done. And we'll pretty things up, little bit of sound, a title screen, and we're kind of each time we're getting closer and closer to kind of being able to play it and see what it's like. But yeah, for the next time, aliens will hopefully be shooting at us and we'll be getting destroyed if we're hit by their bullets. So if there's any kind of advice you want to give me, or anything that you think might make this thing a little bit more playable or a little better, drop us an old comment down below. We'll talk to you next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.